Hello, Resurrection. It's Wednesday, October the 20th. We are headed toward the end of October now. We're also headed toward the end of the church year. It's hard to believe that. We're headed toward the end of the church year. You can usually tell that it's the end of the church year by looking at my desk. The piles seem to get a little deeper as we try to tidy up the loose ends of the year. I mean, Elizabeth Nash and Pat and all of our good volunteers, our office volunteers, Mary Jo and Janice and everybody else. They're all working pretty hard to try to keep everything on track. They're compiling reports and end of the year documents, and we're trying to get bio information from the vestry nominees, getting ready for our annual meeting on All Saints Sunday. I think the hardest part of Pat's job right now is getting everything she needs from me. All of the reports that she's still waiting on from me. I think she's got everybody else's, and she'll put our booklets together for us and do some things like that. And I think as I look around at all of my piles, I think that the best way to describe this time in the life of the church is busy, which is not any different from the life of the entire world right now. This is a very busy time. And that word busy that we throw around all the time, we all know exactly what it means. The word busy, sometimes that's a good word and sometimes that's not a good word. Sometimes busy means there's a lot of activity and things are going great. Busy as a bee, getting work done, and you've heard it used like that. And busy also, maybe more and more here lately, can also be a synonym with uh, with the word overwhelmed. Oh, I'm just so busy. Family life is so busy. Work is so busy. And I remember very vividly a professor that I had in seminary, old Bishop Parsons, who used to pray. Whenever we heard him pray, he often prayed, "Oh Lord, protect us from the sin of busyness." Immediately you're thinking, now how that's great. Don't be busy. That's like saying, uh, don't have blue eyes. You can't just say that and expect busyness to go away. There's more to do than can be done usually, especially when you're raising a family, when you're working. Um, Mom's working, dad's working, the kids are in school, there are practices and clubs. We all live in an overscheduled world, and our children are overscheduled. We all know that. We don't know how to avoid that. The Jones family surely doesn't. We meet ourselves coming and going just like everybody else does. And of course, one of the first things that we do when busyness crops up is we begin cutting the things that can be cut, just to keep our heads above water. And often when I call people or send them a note or an email or something like that and say, "Hey, we love y'all and we miss you. We hadn't seen you in a while," immediately people are usually apologetic about that. And I wish they would not be, because if anybody understands busyness, it's the Jones family. We get it. We're there with you. There are, and Kim says this a lot, and it's just the truth. It's just being brutally honest that I have heard Kim say before, we have had so much going on this weekend. If I weren't married to the priest, I would be in bed this Sunday morning. We get it. There is no need to apologize about that because we all lead busy lives. So, what did Bishop Parsons mean when he talked about the sin of busyness? Well, I think what he meant when he talked about the sin of busyness is never let your busyness become the thing that gets in between you and God, right? That's the problem with idols. Idols are, and we're not worshiping uh, carved statues and things like that anymore, not in this day and age. But but we still do let things get in between us and God. And a lot of times it's busyness. And so the busyness is what becomes an idol to us. Sometimes it's substance abuse. Sometimes sometimes it's our love of earthly things, the love of money, the love of stuff. All kinds of things can turn into an idol. They can be the things that get in between you and God. And we, as a busy family, we have to work very hard not to let that busyness get in between us and the Lord Jesus. Uh, there, there are a million different strategies. There are a million different things that we have to do to make sure that that doesn't happen. C.S. Lewis talked about the time in his life that he really felt like God was trying to tell him something, but he spent months and months of his life saying, "Don't bother me right now, God. I'm praying." Yeah, anything can get in between you and your relationship with God. So a lot of us get to the point in our lives when the busyness has taken over, and we get out of the habit of doing the things that we know are good for us. Some of the things are simple and some are not. Getting up and coming to church on Sunday mornings is very, very difficult for some of us in this stage in our life, and you have to make that priority a habit. You have to get into the habit of doing that, and it takes weeks and weeks for habits to form. You all know this, that I fight my weight all the time, constantly fighting my weight, and it is so easy to get out of the habit of eating healthy and exercising, and so hard to get back into the habit once you do it. And coming to church is exactly the same way. But it's not just about coming to church. It's about sitting down around a table and having dinner together. Boy, once you get out of the habit of doing that, it's like pulling teeth to try to reestablish that pattern. But as we approach the busiest time of the year, the whole world is about to lose its mind. It's coming. With Advent coming, we're going to be pointed toward Thanksgiving and pointed toward Christmas, and that the whole world loses its mind at Christmas time. I live close to Cool Springs Mall, and I hide in my house until Christmas is over. But as the world loses its mind, it is impossible for us not to get caught up in that. And of course, the get-togethers, the Christmas concerts at school, the ending of the calendar year also comes with the ending of the sports season and things like that. And the busyness can so easily overtake us. So I think my warning with that would be, it's coming. We know it's coming. The busiest time of the year, the hardest time to keep plugged in with your Lord Jesus who loves you. So sit down sometime, because we all have so much extra time. Sit down sometime and calm your mind and still your mind and ask yourself, what are the things that we're going to need to be doing as we head into the busiest time of the year, so that we don't lose any part of that relationship that we have with God. And it's going to be difficult to do, but the Joneses are going to do that in the next week or two, and I would encourage you to do it as well, so that when the busiest time of the year hits us, we'll have that firm grounding in Jesus that we all need. So there are no big announcements right now at the church. Everything's plugging along as we come to the end of not the sports year, not the academic year, not the calendar year, but as we come to the end of the church year, which is just a couple of weeks into November. So the first Sunday of November, as always, is the annual meeting and the potluck. It'll be one service at 10:30. That's All Saints Sunday. We also conflate All Souls Sunday on that day, and we'll read the names of our beloved departed from the altar that day. That's going to be a big day for us, and that's coming up. And it is kind of the starting line for the busiest time of the year. So know that it's coming and be ready for it when it comes. I love you all. I love to see you. I love to see you in church, and I will see you soon.